What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another video. So today we're going to talk about Ant-Man's reworked abilities, and I read them once and he seems like pretty decent now, not gonna lie. Like even the first two sentences you'll see are like amazing. So his strengths here, we have power gain counter effects because now he's got power stings, and also he's got a petrify on the special 3, which is pretty nice. And then unsteady debuffs, basically the opponent glances all the time when they are unsteady. But we're gonna talk about that after. But look at those first two lines. Passive. Ant-Man is immune to poison and shock effects. Just like that. Poison and shock. Like that's like two of the immunities that Scorpion has. And that's just awesome, right? So he's kind of like a little bit suicide friendly too with the poison immunity. And then Ant-Man cannot gain buffs. That's awesome. Like that's really good. That's like the Red Guardian and Spidey 299. And then whenever he would gain a buff, he gains a pin particle. So let's talk about what the pin particles are. So basically, right here, whenever Ant-Man's basic attacks interrupt the opponent or intercept the opponent or strikes them when recovering from a heavy attack, so kind of like the Black Cat thing, you consume one of those pin particles to refresh your personal fatigue, poison, and power sting debuffs. And then the way you get those pin particles is by triggering buffs. And then he's got power sting. So if Ant-Man has 3 or more pin particles, landing a heavy attack or being knocked down by a special attack consumes 3 pin particles to inflict a power sting debuff on the opponent lasting 9 seconds. And then if they pop a special, they take the damage. So basically you can just dex 3 times, land a heavy attack, you get a power sting, just like that. And then whenever Ant-Man's personal power stings detonate, they also deal a burst of 355. So I believe they're going to take this damage, the 2369, and then they're going to take this bonus damage too, because it's like basically physical damage as well. This is direct, and then this is another physical damage, so like 2 different I think damage, you can say, for each debuff on the opponent, including the power sting. So what I'm seeing here is like you want to stack a lot of debuffs and then bait maybe a special attack. The power sting is going to deal huge damage. Like this is not going to get amplified, but this will, which is awesome. So make sure your opponent has a healthy dose of debuffs on them before triggering power sting for maximum pain. So that's a very good dev note. And then for his special attacks, whenever Ant-Man activates a special attack, the opponent is inflicted with a non-stacking unsteady debuff lasting 15 seconds, giving their attacks a 100% chance to glance, which is awesome because even your parries are gonna be like very low damage because you can glance on parries, and parries like reduce the damage significantly. And then with the glance, you're probably gonna have like perfect parries, to be honest, for 15 seconds, right? And then there is a cooldown of 15 seconds before you can apply another one. That's why it says non-stacking, but you don't really need it. So unsteady is one of the Ant-Man's greatest strengths, but watch out, its cooldown exposes Ant-Man's squishy nature. So yeah, keep that in mind while spamming XP once to rack up pin particles. So all attacks, while under the effect of a personal unsteady debuff, Ant-Man also cannot miss. So basically, you pop a special 1 or a special 2, you apply those unsteady debuffs, and then for 15 seconds, you cannot miss, which is awesome. And then there's another 15-second cooldown, and then you can just pop another special 1. Then you get another 15 seconds that you cannot miss. So that's like, I wouldn't really use him in the scenario where like the opponent is you're gonna be missing a lot, but it's a really good bonus to have. Like he can help in fights like Ebony Maw, where sometimes you don't want to miss and all that stuff. So yeah, it's pretty nice utility. So let's go over the special attacks now. Special 1, an activation, gain 3 pin particles, and if the Ant-Man has 9, this special is unblockable. So if you have I don't know if it counts, like if you pop it from 6 and you get the 3, if Ant-Man has 9, I don't know if it goes to 9 immediately or you have to have 9 and then it goes to 12, but it's not a big deal, it's unblockable. But then the other thing, each hit inflicts a fatigue debuff, lowering the opponent's critical rating by a little bit for 15 seconds. So yeah, I don't think he's got animation changes, so he's probably gonna have 4 hits in his special 1, so 4 fatigues after that. And then special 2, each pin particle grants Adman a lot of attack for the duration of this attack, and you consume all pin particles at the end of the attack. So on the second hit, you consume all fatigue debuffs on the opponent, and for each fatigue debuff, the opponent is inflicted with poison, and then reduce the healing and max stacks of 12. So basically, what you want to do here is pop, I would say 3 or 4 special ones. I would pop 3 so that you gain 9 pin particles, and then you probably would have dexed a little bit to gain the other 3. And then once you, and those don't expire, I believe. It doesn't say they expire, so they're probably passives just staying there before. Like when you pop the special 2, they just fall off. But you do you definitely do 3 dexes until you get to 3 special ones. Maybe you go 2 special ones and 6 dexes. You gain 12 of those poisons. And then what you want to do is basically this right here. You want to interrupt the opponent or intercept the opponent or strike them after a heavy attack. Just bait a heavy, just go in. And then you're going to consume 1 pin particle, and it's going to be really easy to build up 1 because it's literally 1 dex. And then you just keep recovering, refreshing the poison. And the poisons are going to deal a lot of damage for sure. So that's definitely one of his rotations. One of his other rotation could be like power sting damage, you know? You could be building up the you could be building up your pin particles and using your heavy attacks to knock the opponent down and consume 3 to gain a power sting. It says it was, yeah, here. So if you have 3, landing a heavy attack will consume 3 of them and inflict a power sting. And you can keep pausing that as well, or sorry, not pausing that, refreshing that as well, stacking those up. But it's gonna be tough to stack those power stings up, honestly, because like the opponent would have to throw a special for you to like keep it going, you know. But yeah, so stacking fatigues with special 1 and keeping them up with intercepts will grant you a rewarding special 2, inflicting up to 12 spicy poison debuffs. Don't forget to keep them refreshed. Yes, so that's the play. And then the special 3, so inflict a petrified debuff, reducing the opponent's the potency of power gain and regeneration effects by 10%. 10% is really low, but the potency of this petrify is increased by 10% for each debuff active on the opponent. And it's so easy to have like 10 debuffs on the opponent and just heal block that guy. Because you can have power stings, you can have the unsteady buffs or debuffs. You can have fatigues, which is literally 4 with your special 1. And then just keep them refreshed. You can even have like a huge heal reversal with that guy. Like you can stack 12 fatigues. No one says you can, right? Well, actually you can. This is a max stack of 12. So he's not gonna have the greatest heal reversal, but he can definitely heal block the opponent like crazy. And the power gain is gonna be lowered as well, reverse it a little bit. Now the sick ability is actually really amazing. So whenever Adman glances an attack, he's got a 50% chance to inflict a fatigue debuff, lowering the opponent's crit rate by 2,000, which is 2,000 is a lot actually. But this is really good because if you saw a little bit earlier, with your special 1, you apply that. Is it special 1? No, it's with each special attack. You apply that on steady debuff, and for 15 seconds you're gonna be glancing. So you either take a lot of block hits or you just parry a couple times, and then you got a 50% chance. Like in 15 seconds, realistically, you can like parry 3-4 times, and you get a 50% chance to apply fatigue. You would at least gain 2. So that definitely helps with the ramp up with special 1s to get like 12 fatigues and then turn them into poisons. Because I think that's gonna be his main rotation. I don't think he's gonna be like crazy for power stings, because you gotta like, I would only use him with power stings if there was another node where I gain buffs with that node. So it's that node where you get furies each time you hit the opponent, so that you would be building up pin particles like crazy there. So I would see me using Adman there, but not in a normal fight. I wouldn't use his power stings. Maybe 1 or something. But that's a really good sig ability. And then whenever Adman gains a pin particle, he pauses the duration of any fatigue, poison, or power sting debuffs for 4 seconds. So this is really, really good, because you constantly gonna be gaining pin particles, because it's literally 1 dex, right? It's like you get a buff, boom, pause them for 4 seconds. 4 seconds is a lot, and you can utilize those 4 seconds to apply even more poisons, even more fatigues, or power stings, and then you don't really have to worry about a lot like intercepting or going in after the heavy attack to refresh them. So that definitely is pretty good like have them pause so you can stack even more and then refresh them all over again. And he's got a synergy, so each hit of his special one has a 100% chance to inflict the opponent with a fragility debuff, reducing block proficiency by 50% and increasing your critical damage. So that's not bad. Like, that's a pretty good bonus because like it's 4 hits, right? 4 fragility. It's gonna be 200% block penetration, so that's really nice. But yeah, man, like my favorite thing about Ant-Man is definitely those 2 lines. Cannot gain buffs. That's really good, useful. Like, that's really useful. And then shock and poison, just like that. It's immune to poison, man. Like, that's really good for suicides. And shock is like a rare immunity too. Like, you could be fighting Doom with Ant-Man, because Doom, you don't really do a lot of damage with basic attacks, but you can just pop special 1s, pop special 2, poison him to death. And you're not gonna be gaining buffs, so he cannot shock you. And plus, you're shock immune. So no Mystic Dispersion, no shock slaps. And then also you're gonna have the glance effect, and you can definitely use that glance for your parries because Doom has crazy block penetration. So yeah, I believe it's gonna be like a really good Mystic counter. He doesn't have Wither and all that stuff, but he's got very, very good utility. Like, I have a 6-star Awakened on my account. I don't think I'm gonna take him to rank 3, but we're gonna have to do some testing to do that. I would definitely get him to rank 2, but if he's got amazing damage, like if the poisons like are actually really strong, because you cannot really tell from the text right here. It says like 1,700, which seems pretty high if you stack 12. But we're gonna have to see that how it interacts with suicides and all that stuff, because I use the suicides a lot. And his ramp up is not really suicide friendly. It doesn't seem too suicide friendly unless you get a high sig one to get those pin particles with your whenever you glance. But yeah, it seems like you're gonna have to like pop at least 2 special 1s and then the special 2 and keep refreshing them. So that's not even too bad, to be honest. But yeah, guys, can't wait to actually test this guy out when the update drops. He seems pretty nice, pretty promising. Not a crazy champion, but he's actually gonna be useful now because like you would only use him with synergies previously. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about Ant-Man. I think it's gonna be pretty fun to play. And yeah, it's gonna be actually pretty good with Despair as well, because it's gonna stack those debuffs. But yeah, guys, if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.